Hey everybody, Tim here, and wow, do we have a fantastic show for you here at the Pub Trivia Experience. We have played many different formats, especially over the last year, but tonight we're going to do some good old-fashioned 2v2 trivia. But it's not just any trivia, because this is our 2022 Year in Review game. That's right, it's a game written only about the events that have happened in the marathon that has been this year. And joining us tonight are four incredible quizzers who will be facing off in this game. So let's meet them. First, we head out to Huntsville, Alabama. Mike Mott, how you doing and what you drinking?
Tim, I'm doing great, and I want to thank you for starting with me so I can open up this lovely beauty of a beer. I've been holding on to this for quite some time. I had hoped to have it on an episode of the podcast featuring Chris so I could rub it in his face because this is the type of beer he would love, but this just seemed like the right special occasion to open it regardless, so I'm going to pop it open here. It's called the Gates of S'mordor.
Oh, I love it.
It is a s'mores-inspired imperial stout brewed with marshmallows, graham crackers, cocoa nibs, and cinnamon from Westbrook Brewing, which is out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I've had a lot of their beers, and they are a fantastic brewery. It is 11% alcohol by volume, so it's going to knock me flat. I don't know if that bottle open came through, but oh yeah. Oh, that is nice and rich and chocolatey. And get the marshmallow and the graham sort of there on the end. That'll do nicely on this extremely cold night that is only going to get colder as the week goes on.
Well, we are glad to have you here. That beer sounds delicious. I am having, my sugar-free lemonade, which is just water with a heavy dose of lemon juice, because I drank a little too much last week and my body's making me pay for it. So
These things
delicious.
happen.
I don't get the bottle opening sound, but next we are heading up to Chicago, Illinois, where Jeremy Goodson awaits. And Jeremy, how you doing? What you drinking? And I think this is the first time you've been on our show, so tell us a little about yourself.
It is the first time I've been on here. I am doing well. As you said, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I am IT tech by day, trivia nerd, and Twitch streamer by night. Just happy to be here. What I am drinking, so for the sound effect, I'm going to crack this Mountain Dew Zero Sugar just because. That'll be my second drink. The alcohol I'm drinking, though, is one I picked up on vacation earlier this year when we were down in Florida. It is Wicked Dolphin Cold Brew Coffee Rum from Wicked Dolphin Brewing. It is a small batch, handcrafted Florida rum infused with locally roasted cold brew coffee and natural flavors. It's a limited release they had when we visited the brewery. So
that sounds delicious.
We're going to try that.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know how that is.
We'll see right now. Ooh, that is way better than it has any right to be, and that could be dangerous. I'm not sleeping tonight.
Well, that sounds incredible. Just like our third competitor tonight, from Mobile, Alabama, it's Nate McQuinn. Nate, how you doing and what you drinking?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me. This should be a fun game. I am being boring tonight and drinking just a Gatorade because I'm taking a little break from drinking because I went too hard last weekend. And so it's a Gatorade night.
I can understand that. And finally, from just a little north of me in Raleigh, North Carolina, Jeff Woodhead. Jeff, buddy, same questions to you.
I'm doing okay and just recovering from the sickness that inevitably comes from having a child. And yes, my 4-year-old was being very challenging to parent today, let's just say. And so I am currently doing what she was doing all evening, and that is having a conniption. Referring to the Conniption American Gym out of Durham Distillery, right up the road here in Durham. It's a very nice flavor profile on this gin. It's not super anisey like some of. I'm probably one of the few people who just likes to drink gin straight because I enjoy the taste of juniper and like smelling all those random ass aromaticals they put in the backside. So this is one of my favorites. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers right back at you. So here's how this is going to work tonight. I have 20 questions here worth 10 points apiece. After 10 questions, we'll have our halftime round. At the end of the 20 questions, we will have our wager round. Teams can wager up to 25 points on each question. You don't have to wager anything, but you cannot exceed your total either. And at the end of the night, we'll have our winner for the 2022 year in review game. I'm very excited for this one because I realized this afternoon, this is the first time I have ever actually written a trivia podcast game, start to finish.
That's kind of ironic considering you have a trivia podcast.
Yeah,
Nicely
but
done.
I joined in to play at first, and then we were doing the hot seat challenge. So it was a lot less written questions and sourced from many, many, many different locations.
Like I said, if I'm not giving you shit tonight, I'm not doing my job.
Absolutely. I did not write a warm-up round, so we're just going to jump right into it. Our game tonight is going to be Jeff and Mike versus Nate and Jeremy. And let's dive in, shall we?
We shall.
All right. Question number 1 in the category of television. After 25 years, what character finally became the very best in November 2022? The character must be ready to retire on top as he and his beloved companion will be exiting the show in January. But did they live up to their name?
If you're good with that, Nathan, I think we can lock in.
Yeah, that is okay with me.
All right. Mike, I hope you know what exactly the fuck Tim is talking about here.
I'm gonna need a reread. I missed that whole thing.
All right. After 25 years, what character finally became the very best in November 2022? The character must be ready to retire on top as he and his beloved companion will be exiting the show in January. But did they live up to their name?
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. 25 years puts us in 97.
So shows that have been around since 97.
After 20, what beloved character and his companion? We're probably talking about maybe a cartoon. I'm guessing. I don't know.
It's not Mr. Garrison and Slave, is it? Wouldn't be any name to live up to there. I don't think that's
Right.
what we're going for here.
No, but I mean, really, the timeline would be right. South Park started in 1997.
That would be about right.
But I also don't, you know.
What else has been around?
You did say the category was television, right? I'm not barking up the wrong tree.
Correct. The category is in fact television, and
you put the two guys that don't watch television and give them a television question to start. It's
right.
Always fun. 25 years. I mean, could it be like I mean, it's been around.
Show,
what's that?
Is there a game show that's been around that long?
Oh, that could be.
I can't think.
I was gonna throw out maybe Doctor Who. It's been around longer than 25 years, but it's at least
the companion is there, right?
That's right.
I can see that.
Right.
And I don't know, because David Tennant came back for a couple of episodes this year, right?
Right. Oh, and the best is, could that be something about, there's always that argument of which Doctor Who is the best, right?
Possibly. Yeah,
maybe.
sure.
I don't know. There's been like 6 different ones, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. I don't have a leg.
I don't think I'm going any further than that either.
Okay. Yeah.
So you want to go Doctor Who?
Sure. We'll lock in with Doctor Who.
Jeff and Mike locking in with Doctor Who. Nate and Jeremy, what you got?
This is all Jeremy.
Yeah, I just read this the other day, and I happened to be in 7th grade, so like the prime time when this show started. So we went with Ash Ketchum and Pikachu being the two that are being retired.
After 25 years, he did become the world grand champion. Ash Ketchum will be leaving the show in January. It is Ash Ketchum, the very best being the clue, as well as living up to his name of Ketchum.
Very original.
I forgot about
that. Somebody knows what the fuck anyone is talking about here, because I sure don't.
Tim would give me a Pokemon question to start it off, because he knows
Pokemon.
It's Pokemon.
I was never getting to that one.
No, hell no.
The beloved companion being Pikachu.
Yeah,
Ash Ketchum is leaving the show.
Okay.
The show's going to
And-
continue anyway, but I'm not sure yet what that format's going to look like, who's going to replace him. So we'll see.
Yeah, my son watches it now, so I'm assuming I'll find out at some point.
Yeah.
I forgot about the leaving the show part. Clearly, Doctor Who was not going to be leaving the television show Doctor Who.
I mean, you never know.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Question number 2 in the category of literature. What actress, a star of iCarly and Sam and Cat, topped the New York Times bestseller list with her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, in August?
Can you reread the question?
I sure can. What actress, a star of iCarly and Sam and Cat, topped the New York Times bestseller list with her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, in August? To clarify, the book is called I'm Glad My Mom Died, and it topped the New York Times in August. New York Times bestseller.
We can lock in.
Mike and Jeff locked in. Nate and Jeremy, go ahead and talk it out.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
Does Jeopardy rules apply?
I would say so.
Okay.
I remember this because I used to work with somebody that had this name, and I think it's either close or it is McCurdy, like you said. I think that's your first guess. That's the one that I know it's Mick something. That's the one that stands out the most. I would go with not a first name, but the last name's. I think that's the last name.
Yeah, because I think it's Jenny, or it could be Jeanette or Jeannie. Like that's what's sticking out in my head, and I'm like, it's either McCurdy or McCurley. But I think McCurley would just lead into too many like McDonald's curly fries jokes if there were any. So I would say maybe McCurdy. I'm with you on that one.
Let's go McCurdy. We're locking McCurdy.
Nate and Jeremy lock in McCurdy. Jeff and Mike, what do you got?
I have never seen an episode of iCarly, but I have seen this person's name in the headlines just probably due to this book and the whole thing, and I knew she was associated with that show. So we locked in with Jeanette McCurdy.
And Jeanette McCurdy is a correct answer. Don't really have any flavor text for that one.
Yeah, I remember reading the article.
Yeah, I remember reading the article too, but I did not retain the name.
Yeah,
that was all Mott.
What was the as soon as you said iCarly, I'm sitting here going like, oh crap, what was her name? And you didn't ask about her. You asked about the iCarly person. She was in School of Rock. I was trying to pull her name.
Miranda Cosgrove.
Miranda Cosgrove. Okay, I was sitting here like, yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that's the other one. But Jeanette McCurdy is the one who topped the New York Times bestseller list in August.
Glad it wasn't Miranda Cosgrove because I couldn't have pulled her name.
Question number 3 in the category of politics. In October, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, better known as Lula, defeated what incumbent in a runoff to become president of Brazil?
All right, we're going to lock in on this one.
Yeah, Jeff didn't even bother I was starting to type and Jeff already locked in.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. Go ahead, Nate and Jeremy.
Does that look right to you? Because I feel like I butchered it.
Yes, I just listened to Trivial Warfare's 2022 episode. They had a question about this. They asked for the other person, but yeah, it'd be and I hope it Bolsonaro.
I would say Jeopardy rules again.
Yep, I love Jeopardy rules.
So we went Bolsonaro.
All right, and Jeff and Mike.
Yeah, the answer is Jair Bolsonaro.
The answer is Jair Bolsonaro. Jeopardy
Actually,
rules coming in clutch again.
Do you pronounce the J in Portuguese, or do you not pronounce the J?
I
was
always assumed
confused.
I always assumed you didn't because it's so similar to Spanish, but I have no clue.
Yeah,
I
it's
could
like
be
it's
wrong.
always spelled similar to Spanish, but the friend I know that kind of speaks Portuguese will like try to pronounce a Portuguese word, and it will sound absolutely nothing like Spanish.
Yeah, I've always heard it pronounced Jair, but that could be people applying inappropriately like the Spanish rules to Portuguese. So Bolsonaro is correct.
The Brazilian J in the Brazilian Portuguese J sounds like the S in pleasure, so it'd be Jair.
Jair Bolsonaro.
So it's kind of a half J, or it's a soft J, I guess you would say.
Okay, Jair Bolsonaro. Apologies for mispronouncing your name.
No, don't apologize.
Yeah, don't
This is
apologize.
exactly a great guy.
Fuck that dude. Fuck him.
Absolutely. Let's move on. We've got our category of science.
Science.
On April 1st, scientists announced the completion of what project? The culmination of more than 30 years of scientific effort. While the project was declared essentially complete in 2003, they were only about 85% of the way there. The final 15% was completed this year.
Let's go and lock in with your answer, Jeremy.
Okay. Yeah, we are locked in.
Yeah.
Nate and Jeremy are locked in.
Like I said, Jeff, I have no clue, but the Human Genome Project popped into my head right away. I don't remember anything about it. I think it was just because he said project, and I was like, oh, that's probably been underway for about 30 years. And I thought I remembered them announcing that it was complete, but it was not really complete.
Yeah,
I don't have anything else.
I think there was the whole like they finished the coding bits in 2003, and then like all of the non-coding bits or something like that. I mean, that would make sense. To be honest, I didn't think they were completely done with all the non-coding bits. I mean, it's as good a guess as anything, and I'm not cutter.
Yeah, if you don't have anything else, I'm not going to have anything else, so I'm good locking in with that.
Yeah, and
So you're locking in with?
Human Genome Project.
All right, and Jeremy and Nate?
Yeah, so first gut reaction, as soon as he said project, was I started literally typing to Nathan, human genome, ? Because I remember hearing something kind of along the exact same lines, like same thought process, like years ago, like right as I got out of high school, like, oh, they finished most of it. Like they finished the parts that they could do then, but there was still some to fill in. And I thought I remembered reading an article earlier this year about it being finished. So that was my gut. It could be something else, but first thing that popped into my head, and I kind of remembered it, kind of like backfilling it in my head from reading stuff.
Yeah, so on April 14th, 2003, they declared it essentially complete, but only 85% of the genome was mapped. The complete genome was achieved in 2021, but there was still 0.3 remaining, and that was finished in January. And then they shut down the Human Genome Project.
I don't want to brag, but I finished the Human Genome Project in about the year 1999 playing Civilization 2. So
I remember Civ 2. Hey,
yes.
I do have a humble request though, guys. Can you get one wrong so we can catch back up?
oh,
That'd be nice.
It'll happen.
as long as Jeremy's carrying us so far, I knew just two of them almost, but he's been doing a great job so far.
It's been like an obscure baseball question up in here. I think model take us all.
I don't get to watch baseball anymore either.
I say sports and geography. Hit me with those, and we have a problem. So
Get me geography.
Well, our next category is heading back to politics.
Yes.
Nominated in February and confirmed in April, who did Joe Biden nominate to replace Justice Stephen Breyer on the U.S. Supreme Court? She made history as the first Black female Supreme Court justice when she was sworn in on June 30th.
Yeah, we're going to lock in.
Yep.
All right, Jeremy and Nate, go ahead and talk it out.
I think this was Judge Jackson, right?
I always get it backwards because of the artist Jackson Brown, but I think it's Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes. I always say her last name wrong or first name wrong, so I try to just focus on the last name, but that is the name. Yep, let's lock it with that.
Okay.
And you are locking in with?
Brown Jackson.
Brown Jackson. And Jeff and Mike?
Jeff, we're running on empty here.
Ketanji Brown Jackson, and now I will never not think of Jackson Brown when thinking about her. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
You're welcome. It messes me up every time because when I first heard her name and then I tried to remember it like the day later, I said Jackson Brown like 4 or 5 times, and then it stuck even worse. And then I have to remind myself whenever I say it, no, you're wrong, flip it.
Right.
Doctor, my eyes.
Yep, it was Ketanji Brown Jackson. She took office on June 30th, becoming the first Black female Supreme Court justice.
Some good news this year.
Now that we got that one right.
And after 5 questions, we have Nate and Jeremy with 50, and Jeff and Mike still hanging tough with 40.
Jeff, that was a fantastic joke, and I don't think anybody heard it. Or maybe they just associate it too closely with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think that might be the problem. No one knows.
Yeah, what did he say?
Brown wrote that one. I said we can all take it easy now that we've gotten that question right.
All right. Our next question is in the category of TikTok. A 7-year-old named Tariq went viral on TikTok with an interview expressing his love for what? He was named ambassador of this item at a South Dakota festival and earned a spot on the Green Giant float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
You good with that? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's
think we
lock
can
in with
lock
that.
in.
All right, Jeff and Mike.
The
So
only
my
thing I've
connection
watched-
dropped halfway through that question, Tim, but it doesn't fucking matter because I know absolutely nothing about TikTok,
The-
so I'm not going to ask you to repeat it.
There might be some clues in there that might help you, but all I know is the only thing I've watched less of than television this year is TikTok, because with two exceptions that I can think of this entire year, because Jeff Gore insists on continuing to send TikTok fucking links. I have never watched it. I have never watched a video on TikTok. But there was something.
I can go ahead and repeat the question.
Yeah, go ahead and
please
repeat
go
it.
ahead and repeat
We'll
it.
search for Easter eggs in there.
Exactly.
A 7-year-old named Tariq went viral on TikTok with an interview expressing his love for what? He was named ambassador of this item at a South Dakota festival and earned a spot on the Green Giant float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
This all sounds absurdly cute, and I really want to apologize to poor Tariq now that China has literally every single piece of information about him.
It's got to be a vegetable of some sort.
That's what I was
right?
saying. I mean, Green Giant. My first thought was corn.
Yeah, so maybe the festival was in front of South Dakota's beautiful, amazing, and bizarre corn palace.
Is that an actual thing?
It is an actual thing.
Okay.
I went there on one of my family's cross-country drives. We stopped by Mitchell, South Dakota, and saw the Corn Palace. It is a building, like a convention center, that is entirely decorated with dried corn ears. And
that's fantastic.
As far as roadside attractions to break up the horrifying monotony of I-90 are concerned, not a bad one. So maybe let's just go with corn.
Yeah, my only hesitation is if he's 7, would it be something like popcorn? But Green Giant, though, that doesn't make any sense.
Sell popcorn.
You're right. You're right. Yep.
Some shit.
Okay. We will lock. I guess so. We'll lock in with corn with a C, not with a K, because I don't think he probably wasn't a fan of the band. I could be wrong.
Mike and Jeff locking in with corn. Jeremy and Nate, what do you got?
I couldn't think of what it was at first, but I knew it was a big lump of knobs and it had the juice, and the answer was corn. Juice. Yes, it's got the juice. Yep, the answer is corn.
It's corn.
Yep. A big lump with knobs. Yep.
That was
assuming we got there by the random references you people are making.
What?
It is corn. He described it as when he tried it with butter, everything changed.
That song was my 7th most listened to song all year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. It was hilarious and dumb. And honestly, it's worth downloading TikTok just to see like the remix song.
Yeah. They pulled the Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wife and Double Rainbow treatment and auto-tuned it and turned it into a song. And it is inundated Twitch culture too. Like people have it on their channels and stuff like that, or people play it in the sound clips thing all the time. It's actually become rather annoying, but it's hilarious at the same time.
Yep. And the South Dakota
my teenager.
The South Dakota governor named him the Corn Ambassador to their festival, and he did ride on the Green Giant float in Macy's parade.
Only decent ass thing that South Dakota governor's ever done.
This is when I wish I was still embedded in meme culture. I'm about 5 years off of that era, unfortunately.
All right, we're moving on to question number 7. In the category of business, JFK 8 is the designation for a Staten Island building belonging to what company? The building made headlines in April when Christian Smalls, a former employee, helped organize the company's first union.
With that?
Yep.
All right, we'll lock in.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. Jeremy and Nate, go ahead and talk it out.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah.
I sure can. JFK 8 is the designation for a Staten Island building belonging to what company? The building made headlines in April when Christian Smalls, a former employee, helped organize the company's first union.
Okay. I'm glad you reread that, because when I was thinking like JFK, I was like, my head was going to the airport, but I don't think it's the airport. When you think unionization in New York, and Nathan, you can tell me if you're on the same page as me. The first thing that came to mind then after that was Amazon, because that warehouse in Staten Island where they unionized. I didn't know it was called JFK 8, if that's what it is, but
I mean, he said Staten Island companies. It's a business located in Staten Island or owned within Staten Island. That's what I didn't know if it was something like that or more of a local one. But
Do you
that
need
does
me
make
to read the question?
one more time if you could, just to make sure I got it. I'm sorry.
Nope. JFK 8 is the designation for a Staten Island building belonging to what company? The building made headlines in April when Christian Smalls, a former employee, helped organize the company's first union.
Where did I get Staten Island from?
that's where the building is.
Oh, did I? Okay.
So there's only two companies I know of that in the mainstream media basically unionized, where it was headlines.
Amazon, Starbucks.
Yeah, Amazon,
combined, yeah.
Starbucks. But Starbucks is Seattle, and that's where their first union was, if I recall. I believe it's either Seattle or San Francisco, like somewhere on the West
Okay.
Coast. So Amazon, I know it was New York.
And something like JFK 8 makes it sound like it be something that's more organized than a Starbucks. So I'm okay staying Amazon.
Okay, then let's go Amazon.
Jeremy and Nate went with Amazon. Jeff and Mike, what do you got?
Well, they're right again, the bastards.
Yeah.
Because Amazon has the habit of naming all of its warehouses after nearby airports. And yeah, it's JFK 8
Yeah, Christian Smalls was a former employee who staged a walkout in 2020 to protest the COVID policies that were in place or not in place. He was fired. He then formed a union, and they organized the first union at an Amazon warehouse.
Good for him.
Well,
I feel bad I don't know him.
L'chaim to Christian
Yeah.
Smalls, then.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Solidarity forever, man.
To organize labor.
Starbucks actually organized their first one about a year ago as of recording. It was like last week was the first anniversary of that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like in Buffalo, New York, or something, right?
I don't remember where the first one was. I know that they organized, like they formed a union in like 270 stores this year.
I think
Yeah,
I was one in North Carolina, which, like, if you're unionizing shit in North Carolina, like the most hostile state to organize labor, you're doing good.
Yeah, I was following, and this is why I thought it was East Coast, maybe, or West Coast, I mean, but there was following some Twitter account about one of the groups at Starbucks that was trying to unionize, and they were like live tweeting how long the lawyers for Starbucks were staying in the room before walking out. And basically trying to make it look that like they weren't, or like the other side wasn't arguing in good faith or whatever, but they literally weren't staying more than like 8 minutes, I think was the record.
Yikes.
Yeah, actually, Buffalo, New York was the first.
Oh, wow.
For
You had
Starbucks.
that one of the questions.
All right. Our next category is world news. In September, protests erupted in Iran after the death of Mahsa Amini at the hands of a vice squad within the law enforcement command of the country. By what common name is this vice squad known?
Could you repeat that one more time?
Yep. In September, protests erupted in Iran after the death of Mahsa Amini at the hands of a vice squad within the law enforcement command of the country. By what common name is this vice squad known?
That's fine with me. Yeah.
All right, we'll lock in.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. Nate and Jeremy, go ahead and talk it out.
So I'm having trouble coming up with like names of like what the squad could be. Like I know the story. The squad basically they hit her in the head and she ended up dying of a stroke later. And besides, the thing that came to mind just now as I was saying this was morality police. I don't know if that'd be the name of the squad or if that's just something that's been given to their like kind of a.
See, there's two things I wrote down, and this might bode well for us. One of them was besiege, and I don't quite know where that word comes from Iran, but I remember that word being somewhere. But then I wrote down other things that were kind of in my head, and one of them was morality, because I remember reading an article about this some time ago. But I thought it would have more of a Iranian, Persian name. And so I'm not quite sure. I bet it has more of a formal name than that, but I can't think of what it could be.
Neither do I. I just remember them being referred to in one of the articles as they're basically Iran's morality police. Like that's what their job is.
Oh, maybe we're the same article.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was just like a comparison. Like this would be kind of what they do. Their job is to enforce morality, or if there's an actual name. And if there's an actual name, I have no idea what it is. So that's the best I've got. Is this where we ask, hey, is it in Iranian or?
I have no idea where besiege come from. Since we both said the word morality, let's go ahead and go that way. Because I wrote down again besiege, which after look at your face when I said besiege, that must mean nothing.
I would see that as more of like them besieging the protesters or something like that.
No,
like
it was
not
a
as-
capital.
yeah.
It was something, but I wrote down that in morality and world news because that's the category name. Yeah, let's go morality. I think
All right, so morality police.
squad or police.
Yeah, so the way I heard it referred to is morality police, and because I've heard that term
Okay.
before outside of this context.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead with that. Shoot, I think we might have got that one wrong for the first time all game.
I'm willing to take the blow on that one if that's the case.
All right, so you're locking in with what?
Morality police.
All right, Jeff and Mike.
Honestly, the first thing that really popped to my mind when I heard the question, Nathan said it was the besiege. I never really knew what the hell I somehow managed to have like a 2-hour conversation about what was going on with my Iranian report at Kidney Week this past year. Very interesting conversation. His family's still over there. Hope y'all are well. But somehow the names of things never came up. Either way, we locked in with besiege. And that's what we're going with. And I'm kind of wondering if that just is Farsi for morality. But I have no idea.
And I just sat here staring
I couldn't remember the
blankly.
language. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So besiege is our answer, Tim.
Okay, so the answer I have is the morality police or the guidance patrol. It looks like the besiege is actually a resistance mobilization force, and I don't see any reference on their Wikipedia page to the morality police being even a part of the besiege. So unfortunately, I don't think I can give you credit there.
I didn't know directly, so I'm going to trust your Google foo on this one.
Yeah. So the morality police or the guidance patrol were both acceptable answers there.
I don't feel good about that one though. Like you were so sure about that. He had said besiege, and I'm like, oh my god! I even said like
that wasn't even
I talked you out of it. Like, I'm sorry, I talked you out of it. Is basically where I was going. Holy crap!
Oh.
Nicely done, guys. We were looking for Iranian terms.
That's why I wrote down besiege first.
Right,
and yeah. I'm glad that he said if I would read down, that should not turn the way I thought it was going to. Okay.
Our next question is in the category of science.
Science.
Are you going to blind me with this, Tim?
In May of this year, scientists with the Event Horizon Telescope project unveiled the first images of the black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. By what astrological name is this black hole known?
Tim, I'm going to lock in on this one.
Are you telling me or are you telling your partner?
No, he's already told me.
Okay. All right, Jeff and Mike are locked in. Jeremy and Nate, go ahead.
Once again, Jeremy.
I owe this to a game. I believe it was Rowan was playing in it. If you know Rowan, who is an amazing person and a 3-time Jeopardy champ. They brought this up during something, and they kept saying it, and it stuck in my head because Sagittarius A star. Like, so it's a Sagittarius A with like an asterisk after it. And that has stuck in my head this entire time. I just remembered it as Sagittarius until that happened. So shout out to Rowan for sticking that in my head for whatever reason. And I believe it's Sagittarius A star, Sagittarius A asterisk, or just Sagittarius A, I think it's referred to as well.
All right. Jeff and Mike, what did you say?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think this came up in a previous Hot Seat episode that I was on. Tim, wasn't this in the the one that we did with that I did with Alex Jacob in the hot seat tournament? I think this was one of the wager questions.
I think it was.
It's quite possible. It
No.
is
So
very
yeah,
possible that I
Sagittarius A
wrote the
star is
same
what we
question
said as well.
twice. Because I wrote this all brand new, so it's possible that I just wrote the same question twice.
But we had Sagittarius A star also, and I'm reasonably certain I got it from a previous PTE.
So
thing,
my favorite
and got
thing
it
about this,
wrong then.
my favorite thing about this question is this also happens to be the last day of the Sagittarius astrological sign that we are recording this on.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, so located near the border of the constellation Sagittarius and Scorpius, it is Sagittarius A star, or Sagittarius A, everybody's getting points here. And our final question in the first half is in the category of words.
Words.
Dictionary.com selected woman. Merriam-Webster chose gaslighting. What two-word phrase did the public vote to be the Oxford Dictionary Words of the Year, or Word of the Year? The term is defined as a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, slovenly, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations.
Are you good with that, Nathan?
Yeah. I think we're okay. I'm just typing my editorial comments to you in a moment, so we
Okay.
can lock in with that.
Okay. We're locked in.
Jeremy and Nate are locked in. Jeff and Mike, go ahead.
Right. So
Yeah. Do we get anything from the fact that it was woman and gaslighting? I mean, are those related in any way?
So I just heard like some random cat, and it just made me laugh.
Sorry, I'm going to quick go feed my cat so she stops meowing.
You got time, because by my watch we got.
In fact, our answer.
Yeah. By my watch we got about 4 minutes left to get come to a wrong answer.
Oh, good. Okay. So it's two-word phrase.
Two-word phrase meaning slovenly, removed from social norms. I'm sure I'll know. It's one of those things that as soon as I hear it, I'll know it, but I don't.
Like, I'm trying to think of like words I would use to describe Donald.
I'm
having issues here.
I can.
Because I don't think piece of shit is 3 words.
That's 3. Tim, can we get a reread?
Sure. Dictionary.com selected woman. Merriam-Webster chose gaslighting. What two-word phrase did the public vote to be the Oxford Dictionary's Word of the Year? The term is defined as a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, slovenly, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations.
Like fucking around as opposed to finding out.
Right. I mean, I'm drawing a total blank right now.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to I don't have a lot of good knowledge of AVE that tends to like a lot of stuff. So like
two-word term. This is the word of the year. It's amazing how much you dissociate from anything going on when you have kids. I've just got nothing. I don't even know. Usually like the Oxford English Dictionary's Word of the Year. I think that's what he said. Oxford English Dictionary Word of the Year.
Yeah.
Usually
about
that's
a minute and a half left.
That's something that I notice, but because it's usually some stupid bullshit. But I don't remember seeing this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those, when I hear the term, I'll know exactly the term, but I just don't.
Yeah. I need to hear it to know it. And
right.
I'm not hearing it in my mind. I think we should just go fucking around because it's funny.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I love I want to live in the world where Oxford English Dictionary chooses fucking around as their word/phrase of the year, rather than, putting things like bling bling and bay and all this kind of shit as like actual words.
Yeah. Right. All right. So we're gonna say fucking around. Tim, let's find out.
Jeff and Mike say fucking around. Jeremy and Nathan, what did you say?
Again, this is all Jeremy.
This came up on my stream the day it happened. So shout out to Squeaky, and you know why. This is goblin mode.
So the word rose in response to trends such as cottagecore or self-improvement, where you're trying to make yourself look better on social media. Elon Musk said that his proposed acquisition of Twitter was his being in goblin mode.
Oh God.
Goblin mode was the Oxford Dictionary's word of the year. Remember, this was voted on by the public.
Right.
So it beat out words like metaverse and hashtag I stand with. It had like 93% of the vote because we can't trust the internet to do anything.
Clearly.
Brought to you by the people who brought you Bodie McBoatface. It's goblin mode.
But
I mean,
Bodie McBoatface had humor and like but I was completely wrong. I actually do remember the goblin mode thing. I remember thinking it was a dumb phrase then, and I was 100% right. I did not, or 100% wrong. Would never have pulled that in a million years.
No, yeah.
I thought it was a song.
I'd never heard it before, to be 100% honest with you.
All right.
Also, goblins are an anti-Semitic caricature, so fuck them.
Right.
All right. Well, we are entering our halftime with a score. Nate and Jeremy have 100. Dare I say, a perfect game so far. And
I had to say it.
Jinx it as much as possible.
Right.
Jeff and Mike have 70. And Jeff and Mike have 70. It's still anybody's game as we enter the halftime game. So our halftime question in the category of movies. All right. I'm going to give you guys several minutes to work on this one. As of time of recording, name the top 10 movies by domestic box office gross for 2 points each. These are based off Box Office Mojo's numbers as of this moment, and only for movies released in 2022. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick.
Just to confirm, you said that were released in 2022, right? Okay. That removes one that I was just thinking of. I'm trying to come up with a couple more.
Story of being a father of 2 children under the age of 5. I'm trying to name 10 movies that came out in the year 2022.
There was only one movie I wanted to see this year, and they moved it back to later this year, or in 2023. So I'm not happy about that. So I refuse to see any movies in theaters till that movie comes out.
And when were these numbers from?
As of today.
Oh, okay.
We're coming up on the 5-minute mark. I'm not really putting a time frame on it, but
Yep, I understand.
Okay, I think we're ready to lock in.
Nate and Jeremy are locked in. Jeff and Mike, go ahead and talk it out.
Well, we've got 9 on our list, and then
Yeah.
we're trying to think of a 10th movie that came out in 2022. Just
Right.
numbers.
Exactly. Yeah, like I'm sitting here trying to pull like what I've named all the big movies that I can think of. I don't think there was, like, at least in terms of franchises that I vaguely follow, we got most of those. I don't think there was a Fast and Furious movie, which I don't follow. I'm trying to think in terms of big blockbusters. The next Transformers movie is until next year. I guess those are still big. I don't really know. You asked about Pixar and Disney. I don't recall anything.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just don't recall it.
Pretty sure 3 combined.
We probably would know something. Every Disney that I can think of, with the exception of Encanto, and that was last year, has been pretty much straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah, I had thought of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just sad. I don't pay attention to the theaters anymore because I never get to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, for the movies that we listed, I actually have gotten to see in theaters, and I'm positive that they're on the list. But I just can't pull anything else.
Yeah.
Like just to round out the 10, I was even trying to pull up like, okay, what the hell was that name of that? I was like, I think that Sandra Bullock Channing Tatum movie was this year. What the hell was that called? I can't even pull I can't even pull names of movies anymore.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just guess the 9 that we have?
We'll roll with the 9 we got. I'm fine with that.
All right, go ahead and give those to me.
All right. Top Gun Maverick with a bullet. Thor Love and Thunder. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The Batman. Avatar The Way of Water. Black Adam. We think this was probably 2021, but we also added James Bond No Time to Die. And then Jeff threw out, and I know this was a big movie, I didn't think it would crack top 10, but we also added Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right. Jeremy and Nate, what did you have?
All right. Fairly similar list for the most of it. We said Top Gun Maverick, which I believe is number 1. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Jurassic World Dominion, The Batman, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I almost forgot about Thor Love and Thunder, but ended up putting that on the list. Uncharted, Minions The Rise of Gru. Thank you to Nathan for that one.
It's the one I was able to help.
We were both typing about the Minions movie. Like, yep, that makes sense. You just backed it up. I wasn't sure how well it did.
Well, I said stupid Minion movie. So that's how I thought of it.
And we were debating on the last one. Originally, I thought maybe that Elvis movie did well because it had Tom Hanks. But instead of that, we decided to go Avatar: The Way of Water. Since you said through today, I'm wondering if it had moved up into the top 10.
All right. So running through these, I think the Sandra Bullock movie you were talking about is The Lost City.
I was like, yeah.
That's number 16.
Okay.
Everything Everywhere All at Once was number 25. Running through the top 10 with 718 million at number 1 is Top Gun Maverick. With 419 million, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. With 411 million, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Jurassic World Dominion is number 4 at 376 million. Number 5 is Minions: The Rise of Gru with 369.5. Number 6 with 369 million. As a sign of how long this year is, I forgot the Batman came out in this year. I would have sworn it was like last summer. But the Batman is number 6. Number 7 with 343 is Thor Love and Thunder. Number 8, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 at 190 million. Number 9 at 167 is Black Adam. And number 10, beating out Avatar: The Way of Thunder by about $700,000 as to the time of recording. Elvis.
Oh, damn it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was with you, though, because when you said that, I'm like, it's probably towards the bottom if it cracked the top 10. And Avatar, I wouldn't doubt because of how many people have gone to see it already, that it had gotten into there.
If you hit the refresh button now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
And I actually put on there Black Adam was also this year, but I thought I heard that it didn't do nearly as well as they thought it would. So I put it out of the top 10.
I literally, I tried to talk Jeff out of it.
It's a very different bar for a superhero movie, though, right?
I literally tried to talk Jeff out of it, but when we couldn't come up with 10, I was like, well, shit, we'll just put it on there. I forget about the Jurassic World movies because to me, the first one was such garbage that I haven't even bothered since then.
Yeah, I even forget about the Minion movies because those are the sorts of movies that when we were younger would go straight to video.
Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
We have tried, like, because every other child appears to be into Minions, we've tried to get my daughters to at least show some interest. We show them the previews and they're like, nope, don't want it.
Yeah.
My daughter's favorite color is yellow and she has no interest in the Minions.
So rounding out the top 15. So Elvis has 151. Avatar: The Way of Water currently is at 150, 357.
Yeah.
Uncharted is number 12 at 148.
So what the hell is Uncharted? I've never heard of that.
It's based on the game. It's Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg.
It's basically Tomb Raider, but with a dude.
The Uncharted series. They're one of my favorite game series.
So,
like board games?
No, it's a video game.
No.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I thought I had a video game associated in my head. I didn't realize they made a movie.
Nope at number 13 with 123.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about Nope.
Lightyear was at 118.
Yeah,
They're in 14th. And
there's the
Pixar movie.
Smile rounds out the top 15 with 105.
Okay.
Like the Brian Wilson
horror movie.
No, it's not a Brian Wilson movie. No,
they advertise it on Paramount Plus every single commercial break.
Yeah.
So by my
I hadn't
count,
watched Paramount Plus since October.
By my count, Jeff and Mike got 6 for 12 points, and Nate and Jeremy got 8 for 16.
Hey, Jeff, remember when I said maybe we'll catch up with them at halftime?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Uh-huh.
All right, so coming out of the halftime, I have Nate and Jeremy with 116. Jeff and Mike have 82. It's still anybody's game as we enter the second half, and we start off in the category of sports.
It's really cute that you think it's still anybody's game.
Sports, I'm not a sports guy. Jamie's not a sports guy. Unless it's WWE related, I will not get this. So,
All right. WNBA star Brittany Griner found herself in hot water in February when she was arrested on smuggling charges while carrying vape cartridges containing hash oil through a Russian airport. What WNBA team has Griner played for since being drafted in 2013? She, alongside Diana Taurasi, helped the team win a WNBA championship in 2014.
Jeremy, I think we're good at that.
Nate and Jeremy are locked in. Jeff and Mike, talk it out.
Tim's probably wondering why I'm struggling with a women's sports question.
Yeah.
But
I
the
don't-
reason I'm struggling is that I had thought Griner got traded to the Las Vegas Aces before this year, and she hasn't spent her entire career with one team. Technically, I mean, I guess she's never seen the floor with the Aces, but I thought she was an ace now. But obviously, Diana Taurasi plays with the Phoenix Mercury, and so I guess that's the answer we're going for here. But I really had thought Griner was with the Aces. They won this year. Go them. But I don't think Taurasi's ever played for them. So my answer would have to be Phoenix Mercury based on what Tim's saying, though still leaves me slightly confused.
That's two more WNBA teams than I can name. So
All right, well, we're going to
I'm
go with Phoenix
exaggerating
Mercury
slightly, but
then.
Jeff and Mike lock in with Phoenix Mercury. Jeremy and Nate, what do you have?
We came up with the same thing.
Yeah, I remembered. I could have sworn it was Phoenix, and I'm like, I think their team name is the Mercury, just from reading all the news articles. But you locked it home for me on that one when you said that's their team. Like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure it's Phoenix, so if that's their team, that's what we're going with. Phoenix Mercury.
All right, so I don't see any evidence or anything saying that she was traded to the Las Vegas Aces.
Maybe not. Maybe that was just like in my head. I had heard a thing and it was like a rumor or something that I had digested on Twitter as the truth or some shit.
I did provide a clue about her finding herself in hot water. It was the Phoenix Mercury.
Okay.
Ha.
Wah ha ha.
Yes, I got to try sometimes.
Yeah.
That was good.
Now,
we got a sports question right.
In fairness, guys, given Tim's history about women's sports questions, you could have just named the city and it would have been totally fine with him. Am I bitter?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a little bitter.
Not at all.
So the only reason I even had any kind of anything on this is because it's current events. It's not, I mean, it is sports, but it's definitely something that's been all over the news lately.
Our next question is in the category of music television. We can't talk about 2022 without talking about Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill, which saw a resurgence thanks to its notable feature in an episode of Stranger Things 37 years after its release. But what other song also re-entered the charts for the first time since 1986, thanks to another prominent scene in the show's season 4 finale?
That's it, Jeff. Lock it in.
Yeah, let's lock it in.
All right, Mike and Jeff are locked in. Jeremy and Nate?
I've never seen this show. The song I was thinking was from, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. And so it's not the song. This is much different from the song I was thinking. But yeah, go ahead and say what you thought it was, because we'll go with it, because I'd not seen the most current seasons.
I just went with Eddie Munson's rendition of Master of Puppets is what came to mind. I actually typed it out before you finished the question when I realized you weren't asking about Kate Bush or Running Up That Hill. And then I started typing Stranger Things and erased it because you said that. And I'm like, you said, what's the other song? So I'm like, Master of Puppets.
All right. Jeremy and Nate say Master of Puppets. Jeff and Mike?
Yeah. Title track off of Metallica's seminal 1986 album, Master of Puppets.
Yep. It was.
Obey your master.
It was Master of Puppets. Both teams getting points there.
Seriously, guys, miss a fucking question.
We did on the mid-round.
We missed 2 on the mid-round, actually.
Yeah, because I said Avatar.
I was with you, though. I had it on my list.
Yeah,
I'm like, it could have moved up
them by like $300,000.
Right.
Our third question of round 2. Our third question of round 2, the category is a nod to Kevin Smith. We're going with Tinseltown Stiffs. While it feels like it was much earlier, what comedian died from head trauma on January 9th of this year in their sleep? The death came just 10 days after Betty White passed.
We're locked in.
Yep.
Nate and Jeremy are locked in.
When I think of comedians that died this year, the only one that pops in my head is Bob Saget, but I don't know where that comes in with the while it feels like it was much earlier. Although that does feel like it was longer ago, maybe. I believe he died from.
Like it was more recent, but okay.
I believe he died from head. I mean, I believe he died from a head trauma.
I mean,
thing.
you know, I'm not pulling anything else, so let's go with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I will either. So, all right, yeah, we'll lock in Bob Saget.
Jeff and Mike say Bob Saget. Jeremy and Nate.
We said Bob Saget as well.
Yeah, so the much longer ago was not a reference to anything. It just really is marking how long 2022 really felt. Because I would not have said that Bob Saget died on January 9th, 2022. I would have said, again, last year. But it was Bob Saget. Both teams getting 10 points.
I've still got Running Up That Hill stuck in my head. That's where I'm at right now.
Me too.
I just want you to know that.
You're welcome.
If I only could make a deal with God to make the other team miss a fucking question.
I do take bribes. Our next
Let's go with
question,
an obscure women's soccer question for question 13.
There you go.
Our next question is our last science question of the day.
Science. Last science.
July 11th saw the release of a photo of SMACS 0723 taken by what device launched on Christmas Day 2021?
All right, we'll lock in.
That was Jeff and
Did you
Mike
say
locking in?
They're locked in. Can you repeat the question
Yeah,
one
they're
more time?
locked in.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Sure. July 11th saw the release of a photo of SMACS 0723 taken by what device launched on Christmas Day 2021?
When was the Webb telescope? Was that this year?
I think it was last year.
Yeah.
You said 2021. So yes.
But okay.
I think you're right. I spaced. I was spaced. I was like, what's the name of the freaking telescope?
And it took me a while to write that down. I came up with Webb first. I'm like, that's James Webb. And he said 2020. I was confused on if that was a current thing because I think I remember reading about it, but I didn't know if it was like on Wikipedia or if it was in the news. And so it makes me feel better that when I said it, you didn't say I was an idiot. So I'm okay going with the James Webb telescope.
Yeah, no, I just had just a brain freeze.
Okay.
I'm like, the telescope, but what's the name of the telescope? She just said Webb. It's got to be the Webb telescope. Yeah.
All right, so Jeremy and Nathan locking in with the Webb telescope. Jeff and Mike.
I mean, same. Yeah, James Webb Space Telescope.
All right. Well, the
Mike's muted and he just doesn't know it.
Yep. I'm off mute now. Yep.
The SMACS 0723 is a cluster of galaxies about 4 billion light years from Earth, and we saw a beautiful photo from the James Webb Space Telescope. So good job on that one.
Yeah, what I was saying on mute is that Jeremy, you and I are spiritual brothers on that one because I was sitting here like, what the fuck is the name of that telescope? And then my partner came in with the Webb telescope, and I'm like, yes,
that's the one.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not Hubble.
You're right.
What's the other one called?
Nope. It was named for, I think, a former head of NASA, James Webb.
Yep.
And it is designed to replace the Hubbles.
Mike, you can tell that story, right?
Different times.
All right. Question number 5 in the second half. In the category of business, United States versus Elizabeth A. Holmes et al. Was a criminal fraud case against the founder and the COO of what blood testing company, and was decided on January 3rd, 2022. Holmes was sentenced to 135 months in prison, which she is due to start by April 27th, 2023.
Locked in.
And Jeff and Mike are locked in.
Jeremy spelled it right, so I'll let him go.
So we both said it to each other at the same time. I said Theranos, and like immediately behind it was Theron.
Yeah.
So it's Theranos is, I believe, the name of the company. So
Yeah, I feel like
That
this
is
was
what
an
we're going
instant
with.
for all of us. Theranos is
It-
what we had to.
It wasn't an instant get for me because I'm sitting here like it's the thing that sounds like Thanos, but it's not.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Marvel villain, it is Theranos. All right, our next question is in the category of world news. Great Britain saw a lot of turnover in 2022. Boris Johnson resigned in September, succeeded by Liz Truss. Queen Elizabeth II passed shortly thereafter, succeeded by King Charles III. In October, Liz Truss resigned. What man succeeded Truss as Prime Minister and leader of the Conservative Party?
We're locked in, Tim.
I can't remember his damn name.
I
I was so excited.
got this wrong.
I wrote down Truss as he's asking the question. Like, that's going to be the answer. Or it's going to be that stupid head of lettuce.
Yeah, it's the head of lettuce. I think, and I'm going to screw up his first name, so I would just go Sunak. I think it's Sunak, but it's like Richie or Rishi. Like it's.
I don't think I got hit. I think I still have Truss's name in my head, and so yeah, I cannot place that name, but I trust you on that.
Yeah, and a shout out to Jay Borsum for putting this in a WTF like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I remember the last name. It's Sunak, and since Jeopardy rules apply, that's what I'm going to go with. That's what we should go with. But
all right, Jeremy and Nate say Sunak. Jeff and Mike.
Yes, Rishi Sunak, actually.
Don't hesitate, guys. Don't give me hope.
Can we
that.
get the points for the first name?
Right?
I mean, I will give you a full 10 points, but I'm also going to give them a full 10 points because it was Richie
God damn
Sunak.
And
for-
yes, so I'm part of WTF as well. Thanks, Jay.
I'm going to join that. I've heard good things about the WTF. So.
It's fun as hell.
I've been meaning to do that for
it is.
so long, and I just haven't found the time to do it. But
should get in, and the best thing is there's no forfeits like Learned League, so you can't do one. You just can't do one. Like you run out of time, you don't get it in. It's no big deal.
Right? Yeah, that is nice. I was hemming and hawing on a couple of the ones from Friday, and then just like fucking spaced on it. So.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah,
I always I'll do this before work.
I decided with the holiday and Learned League on its break, I was going to take a 2-week like playing trivia break and just kind of reset my mind. So I'm not playing WTF this week. Next week's a built-in holiday from Jay. So I'm just going to take a 2-week break and come back in the new year, hopefully pretty refreshed.
Tonight's game is Tim's version of taking a break.
I said I'm not going to play trivia.
Fair. That's fair.
Writing trivia.
Because writing it is so much easier.
I mean, at least I have all the answers.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fair.
All right. Our next question is in the category, what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
Say it again.
In June, Canada and Denmark ended their competing claims over Hans Island, agreeing to split the island roughly in half. This brought an end to what bloodless conflict that dates back to 1978?
All right, we're locked in.
And Jeremy and Nate are locked in.
Does this have some like stupid ass name like War of the Reindeer or some
Right.
shit?
No, it'd be probably War of the Caribou.
War of the Caribou. Yes.
Yeah, the Caribou War. I don't. I literally said. I literally messaged.
Let's go with it.
Right. I messaged Jeff. I go, this is hilarious, and I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like if you could describe a war between Canada and Denmark, what Tim just said is how you would describe a war between Canada and Denmark. I mean, the French part of Canada would surrender, of course. I legitimately have no idea, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
War of Hans Island, like he said, it was called Hans Island. Is it just the war? No, I don't.
Anderson's War.
Yeah, there you go. Nah, I mean, I'm fine locking in with the War of the Caribou. I have no idea.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care. We'll just call it that. The War of the Caribou.
All right. Jeff and Mike locking in with the War of the Caribou. Jeremy and Nate.
So this is a fun story. I love the whole story behind this war. Basically, what they do is every was it year or two or
Every
6
couple
months?
of
I don't know what it is,
years.
but
Shit, I've heard about
every couple of
this.
years,
Yes.
they
No, I know.
so
I know.
like
Yeah.
they basically said somebody from whichever country doesn't own it over there to take down the other's flag, put up their flag, and leave a bottle of whiskey
Yep.
next to the
Damn it, I've
flag.
heard
It is
about
the
this.
whiskey war.
Yep.
It is, Jeremy took my flavor text, even though I messaged him saying not to. It is.
Did you? I don't have a message.
Yeah, check your Discord PMs.
I swear,
I'm
if you
calling
take my flavor
shenanigans.
text,
So,
I wasn't
It's
watching
rigged.
Discord.
It's
so,
rigged.
so this is the whiskey war or the liquor wars, and yes, they
That's
do.
fun as hell.
They do.
Wait.
Every couple of years, they go there. They remove the flag, plant their flag, and leave a bottle of whiskey.
I have heard about this, and I am actually absurdly disappointed to find out it's ended. That
Yep.
sucks.
Yeah, right?
They split
like,
Hans Island
this-
in half.
The soldiers in question must be so upset.
Exactly.
Like the first time ever that soldiers have been pissed off about a war ending.
I feel like it would have been a great thing if this, like many years from now, had turned out to be humanity's longest war ever. I feel like that should have been something to aspire to.
I mean, so it's not going to compete with the 100 Years' War, but a 44-year
It's not bad.
war is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, that's fun as hell.
It's not bad.
So
Brief.
It's now the second best named war behind the War of Jenkins' Ear.
Right,
So,
exactly. Exactly. So if I may, a brief side note, since you mentioned war, what is it good for? My daughter has a Mickey's Mouser size vinyl LP that my sister got for her one Christmas, and I would just happen to be reading the back, and Edwin Starr, who is famous for being the singer of War, What Is It Good For, is a producer on half of the songs on the Mickey's Mouser size LP from the mid 80s. And I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, hey, wait, Edwin Starr? It can't be the same Edwin Starr. Google. Yep, same Edwin Starr. Okay.
What I'm trying to find, and I don't
Wild.
see anything, is who had it last. But
Nope. New war.
yeah, we need to figure that one out.
Right, yeah. So obviously the Canadians were giving the Canadian whiskey to putting that up there. What the fuck were the Danes doing? Were they just
don't know.
borrowing Scotch from Scotland on their way over?
According to the most famous Dane, they were probably hemming and hawing in a soliloquy about to be or not
To rye or not to rye?
To rye or not to rye. There you go.
And in true Canadian Danish fashion, the flags were folded properly and respectfully as they were taken down.
Naturally.
That's very Canadian and Danish, respectively.
Exactly.
All right.
That's why I love that story. It's like there was never any bloodshed.
Yep.
It was just like, you know what? This is our island now.
Did they
Our
just
flag.
meet in the middle?
Here's a bottle of
every
whiskey.
year, and we're just like, oh wait, whose turn is it now?
Yep.
All right.
Boy, I think it's your turn.
Question number 8. For 2 points apiece, name the 5 performers officially advertised as part of Super Bowl 56 halftime show in February in Los Angeles. For 2 bonus points, name the surprise performer not officially part of the billing. And just to clarify, I'm referring to this past Super Bowl.
Jeff, that's it. 100%. We'll lock in.
Jeff and Mike are locked in. Jeremy and Nate, go ahead and talk it out.
All right, so we have to figure out of what I listed, because I'm 99.9% sure that was all of them. Which one was not announced? So I came up with it. It was Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and then Kendrick Lamar and 50 Cent. I think 50 Cent was the surprise because the rest of them, as far as I know, are all West Coast. Well, Eminem's Detroit, though. Never mind. And 50 Cent is... Whoa, where is he from? I'm forgetting now. But either way, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige were all West Coast. Eminem is Detroit, but I think he was on the bill.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So it's either Kendrick Lamar or 50 Cent who was the surprise. And I do know that 50 Cent showed up hanging upside down during the performance.
That's right. Yeah.
So was he expected to be there or not is the question. Or was he the one that was the surprise when they like opened the bottom part and he's there like hanging upside down?
I remember watching this.
And then the other part of me goes, or was Eminem the surprise? Because
no, he had a pretty big. If I remember, he was pretty prominent.
He was really prominent, and apparently they warned him multiple times ahead of time not to say certain things.
And he probably said them, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah.
I'm okay with whatever you. I mean, you've been the rock star of this team. I defer to your sage wisdom and expertise.
I don't. Unfortunately, this one I know who the performers are because I saw the show.
Yeah.
But the surprise, the only thing that makes me think it might have been a surprise is 50 Cent because of the fact he came in hanging upside down.
That makes sense. Let's go with that.
All right. So we're gonna go Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and then 50 Cent as the surprise.
All
or
right.
not announced.
And Jeff and Mike.
We locked in with the same damn thing.
All right. And it was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar, with 50 Cent being the surprise. And I think I said to my wife, holy shit, is that 50 Cent?
We had the same reaction. Yep.
Yeah, so did I. When we watched it, I'm like, but I didn't really look that close to the lineup ahead of time. I just knew it was kind of going to be like a West Coast rap thing is kind of what I got. I'm like, oh, cool. You know, it's going to be good. You know, my childhood, my teen years, basically.
Everybody of a certain generation was very excited for that show.
Exactly.
And I think
specifically our generation.
I think Eminem was warned not to
take
a knee.
Not to kneel.
He did it anyway.
That's right. I was in a pretty conservative area. I mean, I'm in Alabama now. And I remember there were half the room that kind of said, oh, what the hell is he doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I was in also Alabama, and I remember thinking, oh, I didn't even realize he kneeled until the next day when people were making a big deal about it.
All right. Well, our next category is scandalous. Quote, that body of yours is absurd, became a meme after texts were revealed as model Sumner Stroh alleged an affair with what celebrity?
I'm just going to lock this one in right now.
Please do, because who the fuck is that person?
All right, Jeff and Mike are locked in.
Levine. Okay, I was like, I couldn't remember Adam Levine's last name.
Oh, that's right. He did have an affair with somebody.
Adam. I literally have Adam L written down. I'm like, what the hell is his last name? Adam Levine.
Yeah, I didn't have known the other person, but I remember he got in trouble this year. So yeah, so that's a good answer. Thank you.
Yep, and then all the memes with him afterwards.
All right, Jeff and Mike.
Yeah, he was definitely finding it a little harder to breathe, and that love was taking its toll on him.
No.
It was in fact Adam Levine, yes.
But she will be loved by Adam Levine. And we've named all the songs on the last album that he wrote good songs for. Yeah.
After getting out of the house, he was at a payphone trying to call home.
It was in fact Adam Levine, and we are heading into our final question of the round. Let's end it on a high note with the category Ending on a High Note. Puerto Rican Sofia Girao became the first woman with Down syndrome to appear in ads for what company? Sophia appeared in the company's Love Cloud campaign promoting diversity and inclusivity.
Since we both said the same thing, let's go ahead and lock in.
Yeah. Both said the same thing in the form of a question.
All right. Nate and Jeremy are locked in.
That's right, Jeff.
I really feel like I should just go downstairs and ask my wife about this one.
Right.
She's a fashion person, like actual advocacy for sustainable fashion, and thus keeps up with the industry
right
way the fuck more than I do. I don't know. Love Cloud though makes me feel like who in their right mind in the fashion industry describes their shit as clouds.
I'm notoriously bad on fashion. I mean, yep. Well, I do still have that. Okay, just checking. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm trying to name, like, has Beth ever expressed disappointment that I've literally had the same fashion sense for 30 plus years? Or
she's married to me.
Right, exactly. I sent you Calvin Klein ? I'm trying to name anything that's fashionable now.
No,
Calvin
I don't
Klein's
even think
probably
it's-
20 years ago. I don't even know.
I don't think we're in. I think we're barking up the completely wrong ass tree here. I think I don't know, man.
It was a
Love
fashion.
Cloud?
Was it a fashion thing specifically?
I don't know. Tim, reread the question, please.
Puerto Rican Sofia Jarao became the first woman with Down syndrome to appear in ads for what company? Sophia appeared in the company's Love Cloud campaign promoting diversity and inclusivity.
So yeah, so it very well might not be fashion. My mind just went there.
Yeah, that's where my mind went to.
Yeah, Love
Cloud.
I love Cloud. I love
This
Lamp.
love has taken its toll.
Yeah, on us, and not on you, because you still haven't missed a fucking question.
Yeah, we don't. Love Cloud doesn't give me anything. The cloud is the thing that people call a very large group of servers in various warehouses, but we already had that question.
I mean,
We're
couldn't
at
it
about
be
3
Apple?
minutes.
What'd you say? Could it
Couldn't
be Apple?
Be Apple at this point? Because I don't know.
I-
I don't fucking know.
I have no leg to stand on at all.
I don't know, man. Like you said, Calvin Klein. So
I was literally like, it's a random fashion company. But my brain went to fashion. There's no reason my brain went to fashion. I
mean, it makes sense that they would be the ones discriminating against Down syndrome people like the entire time, because fashion is the most exclusive possible.
But I don't think anybody's necessarily quote unquote discriminating against Down syndrome people. But I don't have anything else. I mean, I have not heard of this at all. I think it's awesome that they did it. Whoever it is.
Actually, it could be Love Cloud. Sounds like the sort of shit that Victoria's Secret would do, doesn't it?
That's not bad. Actually, I like that because they have like all the angels on the clouds.
Right, yeah, the angels and the clouds and all that shit. Yeah, let's go Victoria's Secret.
Oh, no, I like that. I like that. Victoria's Secret.
We're going Victoria's Secret, Tim.
All right, Jeff and Mike locking in with Victoria's Secret. Jeremy and Nate, what you say?
I can't believe they called that at the very end.
Is that what you guys got to too?
I just responded like, as you come, I just go, holy shit, and his response was fuck.
We've been doing that this entire game, by the way.
Yeah.
So when we went to respond together, like we both said it at the exact same time. I go, is it Victoria's Secret? And he goes, was it Victoria's Secret? We both came with the same thing. Let's just go with it. It might not be right.
Right.
But the Love Cloud thing makes me think, and this is question I got wrong on Throwback Trivia Takedown, because I couldn't remember that their models were called the Victoria's Secret Angels.
That's what I was thinking. That's why when Jeff said it, I was like, oh, the cloud thing makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went Victoria's Secret.
So she was hired in February 2022 alongside 17 other women to promote the new all-day comfort Love Cloud line, which was reinforce Victoria's Secret's commitment to welcoming and celebrating all women.
That was a hell of a pull, Jeff. My brain did not go there. That's great.
Well, you were saying it's not fashion, and I'm like, he said model.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's where my mind went immediately. I thought there was.
You didn't say model.
You did not say model.
He never said
Model
model.
was not anywhere in the question. She appeared in ads.
Oh. And see, in my head, I heard model. I don't know
why. It definitely
why.
implied model.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
It was dragging us that direction, kicking and screaming. Apparently.
Yeah.
It's this amazing coffee booze. It's just adding words to my head.
All right. So we are going to enter our final round here. I'm going to ask you guys to just have one of you DM me your wagers. We have a score. Entering the final round, we have a score of Nate and Jeremy with 218. Mike and Jeff have 174. You can wager up to 25 points on each question. The final category is EEGOT. That's EEGOT. And I feel like I probably don't need to explain what that is. But just have one of you guys DM me your wagers just so I have them.
That's a single category?
No, that's the category for the final round. The final round. EEGOT.
Okay, I thought
there's going to be 5 questions in the final
I thought there were
round?
going to be 5 questions. Right,
Yep.
right.
They're all in the same fucking category, Tim?
Well, I could probably use
Okay.
a first E. Like
Okay.
the other four I know. But what's the first E?
It's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar.
Oh, it's two
Tony.
Emmys.
There's
That's
two Emmys.
all I needed was two Emmys. That was trying to figure out that first E. That's fine.
So you're asking us 5 pop culture questions.
Yes.
God damn it.
All right. I'm gonna take another bio break. I'll be right back. My phone's right here.
All right, I'll just
That
send
okay?
you a message on Discord. I just love that I missed the "I swear if you take my flavor" text.
I wanted to tell
Whoops.
them about the whiskey, but no,
Oh,
it's all good.
I just I just wasn't watching Discord. It was just like, you sent me like, you didn't send me a message. Like, there's nothing on Facebook. There's nothing in the chat here. Like, oh right, the other place you'd probably send me a message.
Yeah. I loved the whiskey war thing, and that came to an end this year, which is super sad.
Yeah, I think that was a WTF question too. Not that long
If
ago.
it was, I missed that one. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it was. I love that story. It's just, it's the most, as they said, Canadian and Denmarkish thing to do.
And it's also very possible that that's where I got it, because like I went back through like WTF questions for like inspiration. Like I looked at all of her current events questions and was like, oh, I can make a different question, but use that as a topic. So
Yeah, it was that was a good one.
I'm a little bit sad that there were no questions about the TV show Wednesday, because my last trivia I
It's so
played,
good.
I got a question wrong on it, and I was so mad. I binged the entire thing because I was so mad at not getting that question right.
It's such a good show.
I was never a big Addams Family person, so I just
Neither
never had
was I,
interest in it.
but she did a good job, and I'm halfway done learning the dance. So I'm halfway there.
Are you living on a prayer?
I'm goo-goo mucking, as the song says, which is a dirty, dirty song.
No,
Like-
no, Mike, you don't need to text me answers.
Oh, sorry.
So the answer number one is
I need your wagers.
I know. Jeff stepped away. Sorry, I was texting him on this.
I haven't asked the questions yet.
I know, but we need this to plain wagers.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm getting all this refresh on the year
Sorry about
because
that, Tim.
next Tuesday I have to do Bucks Bombs podcast one-on-one for end of year review.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
What podcast is that?
Nerd Off.
Nerd Off.
Never heard that one. Okay.
It's new. Well, it's older but newer. He did it for a couple of years and then kind of stopped for like a couple of years, and then he
Rebooted
just
it.
brought it back like
Hey.
this year. Yeah,
Nerd Off. I'm going to search for that right now.
yeah. Nerd Off.
Mike and I are in an
and then-
upcoming no, Mike and I are in an upcoming Throwback Trivia Takedown.
Yeah, throwback trivia
We've
takedown.
been
Yeah.
on Nerd Off.
That'll post like the second week of January. Listen to that. It's a fun freaking time. We
I
had a
love
great
Throwback.
we had a great time, and it was.
I actually think I just played the dude from Nerd Off on PTE.
You did. You
PubTrivia.
play you versus Drew. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
true. Yeah.
Is Drew the guy that
it's funny.
does Drew's Clues?
No,
that's
different
That's
Drew.
not him.
Different
Okay.
Drew.
Different Drew. Okay.
Different Drew.
That's
But
Drew
it was funny. You
Krasinski.
said what's.
Right.
So you asked what podcast I was on earlier, Nathan. I totally did not put Throwback Trivia Takedown on the list, and I've
Yeah.
been on there a few times.
I did really well in last year's tournament. This year's tournament, I sucked something bad. I did much, much better last year.
I did okay this year.
I think I made it to round 2 this year, but I was in
Say,
the quarterfinals. last 2 years
Eric
ago.
Eid.
All right, I'm going to need your wagers here, Jeff and Mike. I've already got Jeremy and Nate's.
Yeah, Eric Eid is now my nemesis, but in a good way. He's a cool dude.
My nemesis is Brittany Shaw.
I love Brittany.
I love Brittany.
She's one of my Twitch mods.
Yeah.
I don't have a trivia nemesis. I feel like I should get one. So if anybody wants,
Mine was Steven for a while, but I think now it might be Tim.
I was worried you say it was me because during the tournament that we had,
I
that was the first
recall.
game we played.
I recall.
Brittany and I have either tied or she beat me in every Learned League matchup we've had, and I beat her on our tournament, and so we've kind of just got this playful rivalry, but one of us is doing much better in the trivial world than the other, so
Well, I mean, she does write trivia. Like,
do
a
I.
lot. I know.
Yeah, I actually think Mike might be my trivia nemesis
We're-
person?
we,
Because
we've kind of been each other's for a very long time, but we've almost surpassed
right.
that in a way.
Yeah.
Are
Well,
you
I
going to
mean, we
send me your
started off
wagers?
as teammates here, right?
Well,
The E team.
I
team, God damn it.
that's right. That's right. Absolutely. We were the G team at one point.
Are you going to send me your wagers?
Yeah.
But then you couldn't find it.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Hey, and
I'm sorry.
Jeremy,
We're
just in
working on it.
case y'all, I don't know how y'all, well, y'all know the rest of us, but Mike and I went to high school and college together. So,
Oh, nice.
we were on the same. So everywhere else in the world is called Quiz Bowl. If you're in about a 30-mile radius of the DC area, it's called It's Academic. So we were on the same It's Academic team in high school. We were our school's E team because we went to a fucking nerd school. And there were a lot of trivia geeks at that school.
Uh-huh.
I literally know everybody in the trivia world through exactly one person.
Who's that?
Lauren Carey.
Ha.
Oh yeah,
That's
Weird Al girl, yeah.
So
that sounds accurate.
I was goofing around on Twitter one day and I got a recommendation for a brand new podcast. And I went, I like beer.
Weird Al.
I like Weird Al. I love Weird Al. I'm going to reach out.
Nope.
Lauren is who introduced me to Trivial Warfare. She's the one who introduced me to Chris and the Pub Trivia Experience gang. And through that, I've gotten to know everybody else in the trivia world. Like, I would not know any of you fuckers if not for Lauren Carey.
Lauren is amazing. I love Lauren. I mean, I got to meet her at. Yeah, I'm wearing my Geek Bull shirt. And we were all hanging out. She's awesome.
She is.
I've not met her brother though.
I've never met her. I've never met either of them.
Oh, I know. Same. I've been on Beard Owl. I don't know, Tim. You've been on about probably 5 times.
3 or
I've only
4
been on.
times,
I've only been on 3 or 4. Yeah, I was gonna say. So
I've got my next one planned, but we haven't scheduled it. But I'm going to be on to talk about the bop that is Scariff Beach Party.
Oh yes. Oh, that's a perfect one for you to do. Oh my God, I love that you're doing that.
The song he did for the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation. Lego Star Wars
Scariff
beer
Beach
and Weird
Party.
Al.
Yeah. Lauren Carey, incidentally, champion of the PTE hot seat.
That's right.
tournament.
That's right. And no, as very similar. Chris liked, or the Pub Trivia Experience, one of either Pub Trivia Experience or Boozer Bracketology liked a tweet from Beard Owl Podcast, and I went, Beard Owl Podcast, what is that? And 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, we're having the Beard Owl I basically binged their episodes, and then he goes, hey, we're having the Beard Owl Podcast people on. I'm like, these are my people. I'm in.
All right, so wagers are in, and these questions are very, very straightforward. In the category of Emmys, name the television show that won the 2022 Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series. In the second category of Emmys, name the television show that won the 2022 Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series. In the category of Grammys, name the artist who received the 2022 Grammy for Album of the Year. In Oscars, name the film that won Best Picture at the 2022 Oscars. And in Tonys, name either the winner of Best Play or Best Musical at the 2022 Tonys.
Can I get those one more time?
Yep. So I'm looking for the Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series, the Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series, the artist who released the 2022 Grammy for Album of the Year, the film that won Best Picture at the 2022 Oscars, and either Best Play or Best Musical at 2022 Tonys.
You're asking for the artist rather than the album?
That's correct.
All right, I think we are good to lock in.
Jeremy and Nate are locked in. Go ahead and talk it out, Mike and Jeff.
Okay, right. Typing frantically into
Right, exactly.
Messenger and do this.
Exactly. We know Coda 100% on the Oscars.
Yep. I'm
pretty sure
99.6% sure on Ted Lasso.
I think that's correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think there's a lot of bitching about how Abbott Elementary should have won, and and I've watched both seasons of that, and you go either way. But I'm pretty sure Ted Lasso won.
I've never seen either, so I don't know, have a leg to stand on. As far as drama, I don't know.
TV dramas from 2000.
Right,
And
exactly.
Scene.
Right. Yeah, I threw out Yellowstone because that's been on a couple seasons, and I know
I don't think it wins.
I don't either, but Nick, it's like the one show Nikki's expressed interest in watching. Like, we're still catching up on shows from like 10 years ago, and by we I mean like I sit and kind of flip through books while it's going on in the background. So what was the other one you said that was maybe
I don't know, is This Is Us still around?
This Is Us would have finished last year, I think. So maybe it won.
Maybe they give it a valedictory Emmy just for shits and giggles, right?
I actually like that better than my being like, hey, Yellowstone is a random show that I remember my wife mentioning. And you said you didn't think, like, I remember Queen's Gambit being a big deal, but you said you didn't think it won.
Nah, too niche.
You're probably right.
But it's a great show.
She won. She won something.
She won.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was this year or last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But Queen's Gambit was great. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But I don't remember the show winning.
Yeah.
This Is Us seems like the kind of maudlin bullshit that the Emmys appreciate. So
I could see that. I like that guess because I could see them kind of giving it sort of the equivalent of a Lifetime Achievement Award. Like, okay, yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, kind of like how the third Lord of the Rings won Best Picture.
Right? But the only counterpoint I have is if we're theoretically living in the golden age of television, where no two people watch the same thing, but we're going to call that the golden age of television. Are they still awarding the maudlin bullshit?
Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, like what would be like Ozark? I mean,
I really don't know. I like this. I like This Is Us as a guess, because I really could say, and I enjoy This Is Us. Nikki watched that full series, and I watched it here and there with her, so I could see them giving it like the, kind of the crowning achievement award. It's actually a pretty good show. We haven't even discussed the Tonys, but since we wagered pie, spoiler alert, I don't know that we necessarily need to.
I don't know. Let's just guess You're in Town and be like,
I love it. That's great. Okay. Yeah, We Are in Town. Okay, so hey-o.
Grammys. I had guessed Kendrick Lamar earlier.
Right. My hesitation on that would, I haven't been super keyed into Kendrick Lamar's albums. I tend to listen to them, when I can, but I don't really like, he's not somebody I follow, and I don't remember when his albums are released, and I don't remember listening to the most recent one, so I don't remember when it came out. But in all honesty, this is how bad I am with music. I used to be keyed in, and now I'm literally just finishing out my playlist or my listen list from 2021.
I'm gonna need you to give me some answers here soon.
And none of it's anything that's going to win a Grammy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not coming up with anything else from last year.
Kendrick Lamar works for me. I know he's still putting out material, and he's still putting out very good and very critically acclaimed material. So I'm happy to lock in with the Tony is a punt. You're in Town. That's fine. Oscar is Coda. We'll take those points. Comedy, I'm pretty sure for Emmy is Ted Lasso. Drama, we can go with This Is Us. And for Grammy, for the artist, for the album, we'll say Kendrick Lamar.
All right. And you wagered 25 across the board, except the last question where you wagered pie.
Where we wagered pie on the Tonys. Yeah.
All right.
I think you do math.
Yes. Jeremy and Nathan.
That was Jeff's idea, by the way.
All right. So we had a little back and forth on a couple of these, but pretty sure they're spot on. It's Ted Lasso for comedy. I think the drama, and when you, because I think Abbott Elementary was comedy, but that was one of the ones that was, I remember reading the contention about it. So when you said that, I second guessed myself on Ted Lasso, but we'd already locked in. But we went Ted Lasso. For drama, we said Succession. I remember that winning an award. We weren't sure. The Grammys when we had the hardest part on, but when I was on Trivial Warfare a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago, it might have been Carmela asking about best new artist, but as soon as Nathan said Rodrigo, that was the answer to one of the questions on my show. And I'm like, I have no idea. I didn't watch the Grammys, but so we'll just go with Olivia Rodrigo then, because I know she won something. And it might have been best new artist, but that's our answer for our album of the year. We agreed on Coda for the Oscar. And for the Tony, I believe it was A Strange Loop that won.
All right.
And if you don't watch the Tony Awards, it's probably the best award show because it's all like performance art.
It's really funny because we almost always watch the Tony Awards and we didn't this year. And so it was bothering me that we didn't when this came up.
Yeah, thank you Paramount Plus, because I forgot it was on, and then they still show they still keep it on there.
My wife is very keyed into musical theater, so yeah.
Let's run through these. You guys were both right. Outstanding comedy series. The Emmy went to Ted Lasso.
Barbecue sauce.
You guys were both correct on the best picture at the Oscars. It was Coda. The Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series was Succession.
Mm-hmm. Really?
That one. Yep.
I mean, I love Succession. Don't get me wrong; that was a great show. I'm amazed that it got the love from the award show.
It beat out Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, and Yellow Jackets.
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul was the upset by far. It won't, because it was the last season aired this year.
I thought the last half the episodes would count towards next year.
It might.
If it does, then it should win.
Yeah, because the last episodes were great. I still am processing the last episode of Better Call Saul.
I haven't seen the last half. Like I've seen everything up to it.
Watch it.
I need to wait for it to stream somewhere. I don't have. I'm waiting for it to either pop up on Netflix again, or I have a friend with a Plex server that might have it now.
The winner of Best Play was a play called The Layman Trilogy, and the Best Musical was A Strange Loop. So Nate and Jeremy getting points there. The Grammy. So, Jeremy, you were right that Olivia Rodrigo was the Best New Artist at the Grammys this year.
I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was Best New Artist or if it was Album of the Year. And I'm like, I bet it's Best New Artist, but got nothing.
So I actually have the wrong answer here because I conflated Record of the Year and Album of the Year. The answer I had was Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic, but that was Record of the Year. The winner of Album of the Year was We Are by John Batiste.
Who the fuck is that?
No idea.
Nathan said it, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. And he goes, what about Rodrigo? I'm like, well, that was the answer on my episode of Trivial Warfare, so either one's fine with me.
No.
So the only one you missed because there was a random second guess.
Jeff and I are asking a legitimate question. Who is this person?
I remember reading it sometime, and I can't tell you, but it was in my brain, and I didn't go with it because I wasn't too confident. I know Rodrigo, and I know she's won something, and I like that car about the driving in that creepy neighborhood song, and so I went with her.
And like I said, I unfortunately reinforced it because that was the answer from Trivial Warfare.
Okay.
It was just, which I think we got wrong because we said like.
Oh my God!
Doja
you got a question wrong.
Right.
This is the world's tiniest violin playing "My Heart Bleeds for You."
So, with a final score of 293 to 170.8584.
Thank you for doing that math, by the way.
Nate and Jeremy were the champions of our 2022 year in review.
Yep.
And I didn't do math. I set up an Excel spreadsheet to do it for me.
Oh, no, I understand. But yeah, no, I texted Jeff. I said, I think we lost pi. And he replied, make Tim do the math. Guys, all right. Let me be the first to say, holy shit. Like,
that was all Jeremy.
No, for starters, look, I'm the first one to admit I'm not super keyed into pop culture the way I used to be. but I'm thoroughly impressed. You guys had a remarkable game, and I tip my hat. It's fantastic.
Play super shitty. Like, we did pretty good, and you guys were just like Argentina for the first 70 minutes of the World Cup final, right? Like, you were just like absolutely running us over and destroying everything, and Kylian Mbappe of trivia is not on our team, so we didn't come back from that.
I was literally just about to say, you know what we didn't have is an Mbappe, so.
I mean, yeah, in the
I'm looking at
main,
Nathan and Jeremy, and they're like, "We don't watch soccer. What the fuck are these guys
right.
talking about?"
Right,
in the main round, you guys only missed 4 of the 20 questions.
No,
so you
exactly.
guys did very well. Jeremy and Nate just
didn't miss
all of it.
Right,
Jeremy had it. Jeremy carried me so much.
Don't sell yourself short. There were like you sent in, like, I mean, like there was stuff I did not know, and you said it. And I'm like, yeah, that rings a bell. Let's go with it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like it was a team effort.
I helped jog your memory on a few of them. But other than that, yeah.
All right.
I'm still a little bad about the morality police. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, right. Right,
I am too. I did not feel good about that when we got that one right, because when you both said besiege, I'm like, oh my god, I talked him out of a wrong answer because you were so sure about it, Jeff. And I'm like, damn it, like I feel like a dick right now because the only thing I could think of was like what they said in this article that I read, and like you both said besiege. Okay, well now I feel like a jerk because I talked you out of it, and yeah, I don't feel good about getting those points.
It was not a factor in the game though. Well played, gentlemen. Well played.
All right. Well, before we go,
a good game.
We do want to give you guys a chance to shout out anybody you want to. So let's go around the clock here and go with Nathan.
Oh, well, it's the year-end episode, and 2022 has been a rough year for a lot of people. And so everybody just say positive thoughts for 2023, that it won't be quite the shit show the last 3 years have been. So let's go into 2023 and make things better.
And Jeff.
Oh, wow. We're not around the same clock at all. Holy crap. Okay, so what are we shouting out here? Just like
anything you want to plug?
Whatever you want.
Well, I don't have anything to plug myself, so I'm going to plug my wife's organization, redressraleigh.org, advocacy for sustainable fashion, a better fashion industry that doesn't use like slave labor from Xinjiang or what the fuck ever to make its clothes. So buy smart, buy local, drink local, eat local, support your friends and family, and have a awesome ass year.
All right, Mike.
First of all, when Jeff said buy smart, my brain goes buy smart, buy S-smart.
Got that?
No, we frequent a lot of the same circles, so I don't have a whole lot to shout out. I discovered the most recent Gangs of Youth album today, and I'm drawing a blank on its name. It's something in real time. It's fantastic. I would highly recommend listening to it. It is probably about a year old because, as I alluded to earlier, I'm way far behind on my album listening. So I would shout out that. Beyond that, we're nearing the end of the year. I would just say, I would echo what everybody else said. Drink a toast to a great 2023. Everybody be kind to each other, be excellent to each other, as Bill and Ted would say. Just let's, work on just being, being kind people, helping each other, and understanding that we're all kind of going through stuff at various times, and just giving each other the benefit of the doubt. I feel like that's something that's very often lost these days. I don't have a whole lot else to add beyond that, but I wish a happy new year to everybody. I'm perfectly honest. I had a great 2022. I know it was, kind of crazy for a lot of people, but I just hope to continue the excellence going into the new year.
And Jeremy.
Well, I have to follow all that.
Well, that drunken rambling.
Guess. Oh, man, whatever. For me, a couple quick shout outs. First to Jay, who's been on the show, Jay Borsum,
Yes.
who all of you know, I believe, one of my best friends for the past decade. Streams on Twitch literally 5 days a week. Check her out, twitch.tv/liquid_courage, courage spelled with a K, because as you do, I'm sure there's a copyright thing in there somewhere, which is leads into my Twitch channel, which is LK Jeremy, which stands for Liquid Courage Jeremy. Like I said, we've been friends for over a decade. I've done trivia with Jay for years. I've hosted karaoke, and all that stuff, but kind of transitioned to Twitch during the pandemic, which I know I've brought up before in various places. But if you like trivia, we do on my channel Thursday nights with Brian Nash, who has been on this podcast a few times now, and the Boozy Bracketology. We put on his game of Geek Trivia every Thursday night at about 9:30 p.m. Central, so it's a little bit later of a game, but it's also only 25 questions, 26 if you count the end question. And we have a lot of fun, so we'd love to have some of the trivia folks out there. And if you like word games, we do Lingo. Also, thanks to Jay for that, who programmed the entire thing to run on Twitch. So that is that's my things. Twitch.tv/LK Jeremy, if I didn't say it.
And that has been another episode of the Pub Trivia Experience. Be sure to check out all Pub Trivia Experience and Boozy Bracketology stuff at our website, ptebb.com. Join our Discord, where we have a lot of fun and live chats, ptebb.com/Discord for all of that fun for the Pub Trivia Experience. I've been Tim.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jeremy.
Have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2023.